Welcome to Subramani. Many people ask me this question: should I have equity in my retiree portfolio? Right? I am a retired person. Should I have equity at all in my portfolio? The answer is actually not as simple as it looks, because it depends on very many factors. So first, let us look at all those factors. It depends on your age. You are in retirement. Are you 61 or are you 98? Right? So it depends on that. So it's not just in retirement, where in retirement. Retirement is a longish thing. It's 60 to 100. So depending on which phase you are in, depending on how much is the total amount of money that you have. So a person having an annual requirement of 5 lakhs, but who has something like 10 crores, is very different from a person with an annual requirement of 5 lakhs and who has about 1 crore. Right? So the total amount of money you have, how well you have understood equity over the years. Have you been a late starter? If you started only at 55, you may not understand the vagaries of the equity market. You may have seen only a bull market or a small part of a bull market, right? So then your views could be very different. Your level of understanding could be very different. Fourth, are there any dependents for you? Is there somebody to whom you must leave your corpus, right? So, or you say it's okay if I am at zero when I die, I'm fine. I should not be negative. That's about all. I should be positive, and therefore that's the amount of money that I need. And what have you, from when you started building your portfolio to know how resilient your portfolio will be, right? If you have been investing for 30-40 years, so it's fairly obvious that you have built a resilient portfolio, because if you had made losses in the beginning of your portfolio or made big losses towards the end of your retirement, or rather towards the end of your job, you may have got out of equity because saying no, equity is not for me. I have not been able to make money, and so I will get out. So depending on your own level of understanding, learning, etc., you have to decide on how much equity to have. So for a person with a high, let's say there is a indexed pension that you're getting some other forms of rent. You have some old house which has been given on rent. You have some bank deposits that gives you some interest. So with all these solid incomes which are assured and which will not change, but if you may not keep pace with inflation, you're getting enough money to meet your day-to-day requirement, then you can afford to put all the balance that you have, or a big portion of the balance that you have, in equity funds. Maybe some money in equity funds, some money in balance advantage funds, somebody in PE based allocation fund, right? So you can put into some of those funds, which multi-asset fund, because that will give you a coverage for gold and things like that. So if you have, then you can create such a portfolio, or you have a portfolio of a lot of equity which you have built over the years, and you're living off the dividend income. Your annual requirement for expenses, I'll stick to say 5 lakhs, and you have 13 lakhs of dividend income, which means you have a solid portfolio which is giving you so much of dividend income. There is absolutely no need to make any changes. However, Ken Fisher in his book says my father's worst mistakes in equities were made after his age of 70. Right after his age of 70, maybe he lacked some skills, and I mean, we have all seen Devanand make some of the worst films that he made beyond his age of 70. So it's at some stage your brain does not work or is not active enough. You don't want to at that stage think, should I be in mid cap, should I be in large cap, should I need an international diversification, what will be the rupee dollar rate, what will be the rupee ruble rate. If you have to think about all this, you may not want to draw on your faculties for doing all this, so you may decide that I don't want to do all this. Then you get into maybe an India based index fund, one world index fund, and some money in debt funds. So you could do this and say, okay, I don't need to do anything simply because I have enough money. The need to take risk has gone away. The ability to take risk is slowly going away. The willingness to take risk is gone. So with the need to take risk itself going away, and then there is no willingness, there is no reason why you should be putting money in equity. But having said that, please understand, when I say equity is risky, debt is also risky in the long run. So if you're 60 years of age and you live till the age of 98, you need to provide for inflation for 38 years. So earlier what used to happen is people would retire at 58 and die at 62. India's average age has gone up dramatically now, and for every 8 months, 9 months or a few years, the average age at which Indians will die will only keep increasing as the medical facilities are better. Also in India, there is no point in taking the Indian average of how long you will live. So if you take your family average, that would be far more accurate than the Indian average, because with such a huge population below poverty line, obviously they are not getting enough food, not getting enough nutrition, not getting good medical care. The chances are the people at the lowest end are dying far earlier than people at the upper classes, right? So you have to get a upper class or the rich people's age at which they will die, the average mortality rate, and so then we could completely disparate answers. It may not be as simple as, oh, it's 72, right? So we don't know that. So since we don't know how long we will live, we do not know how much we will spend towards our at the end of our lives if we are bedridden, etc. So since we do not have answers to all that, you need some protection against inflation, especially for people who are at the margin. For example, if 5 lakhs is your expenses, 1.5 crores is what normally people suggest, 30 times your annual expenses. Now if you have a surplus far greater than that, if you have 80 times, 100 times, 300 times, whatever, then obviously your and your faculties are sharp and you enjoy doing this, then you should be maybe in direct equity. We are hoping to get your dividend, doing some small time trading, booking gains, booking losses, whatever it is, then it is different. And if you are having fun doing that, if you are not having fun and you do not need to take the risk, and then I don't see why you should be in equity. Equity is oversold in the sense that too many people will come and tell you equity is good, it will give you better return. It is true, maybe it will give you better return, but I can create enough pieces of world time where over a 10-year period debt has done better than equity. If that is there and there is evidence staring you in the face, there is no need to be in equity. However, if you are in equity, you are definitely protecting against inflation, etc. So all that is useful, but the need to take a risk depends on a lot of factors, not just your age. Thank you.